The following video is brought to you by Animaga. More on them in a bit. Greetings everyone, I am Sister Lilia and welcome to my armory. So, over the weekend I attended Animaga. This was my first event as an actual recognised content creator, where the event itself sent me to the event rather than me having to pay out of my own pocket. That was neat. I appreciate that. And in the past I've done videos on various conventions that have happened in Melbourne, and so this feels like an evolution of that. Now, this will become relevant later in the video. Till then, I'll push it out of the way. Animaga has been running for the last 10 to 11 years. I'm not sure if they ran during lockdown, but they've been running since 2014, and I've been to most of them. It's been a fun event, regardless of whether it's held at Royal Exhibition Buildings or Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre, where this one was held. So the event itself took up a decent amount of one of the hall rooms at one of the expo rooms, if not two, at MCEC. And they, in addition to those rooms, which were mostly filled with the retail hall and a number of performance stages, which had a mixture of live music and various performances going on them. There was also a maid cafe run out of a different part of the venue. I believe they were using one of the venue stages in a different room as well. They also had a outside of the actual main hall's display area where they had those funky anime cars that are covered in decal. But yeah, the event itself was fun. It was over 2 days, and I spent a lot of time there. I also spent a lot of time in the week leading up to it working on the new light-up collar for my Sister of Battle costume to do the canoness add-ons to the costume. Now, the canoness add-ons themselves aren't finished. The armour itself's going to be looking like a more finished version of this model, and I'm doing the purple because the colour of the lights from a distance, when the camera settings are wrong, look purple. And also it's easier to paint that way. So, yeah, I grabbed a lot of photos. I ran into more than a few people that I know through the Melbourne scene, and even a few from interstate. I also ended up going by the mech workshop, and they handed me that gun. Now, I will do a review on that in the video. The event itself could have gone on for even longer. I had a blast. My main focus of the event was grabbing photos of my fellow cosplayers, and I got a lot. Now, I spent like 5 hours each night uploading them to stories over on Insta, and I've now got most of them up on Facebook. So, beyond what I'm showing on screen at the moment, you guys will be able to find a few there. Before we take a look at the model kit, a word from this video's sponsor, Animaga. So, while the Melbourne Animaga for this year may be over, early next year, on the 14th and 15th of March, Animaga is coming to Sydney. That's right, folks, it's going to be at the Sydney International Convention Centre. So if you've been eyeing Victoria's Animaga Expo for a few years and wanted to go, it's coming to you guys. Anyway, back to the video. So, I was given this kit at the event under the proviso that I build it up there and then, which gave me a chance to sit down, which was much appreciated given the weight of the new collar on the armour was pushing everything down, but uncomfortable. Oh well, new war gear will do that. It takes time to adjust to new gear. But yeah, the kit itself, out of the box or in the box, was neat. I was surprised when I saw the multicoloured sprue, because I'm so used to Games Workshop's monocolour sprue, because they make the kits so that you'll build them and paint them. Whereas Bandai, Namco make their kits so that you don't have to paint them. You can choose to. But yeah, it's a really neat thing to see four different colours of plastic, including a transparent piece or transparent part on the same sprue. Like, that is impressive. But yeah, now the kit itself built up relatively easily. Like, it was all push fit, so I was able to just push it out of the mold, out of the sprue pieces, and gather the pieces together to actually assemble it relatively easily. As to what I'll do with this kit later on, we'll see in the future. I'm not up for kit bashing it tonight. So, here it is built up. Now, I chose to leave the faceplate off and instead stick it on the back of the arm to add some kind of interest back there. I mean, look at the arms, they're pretty bland. Like, in terms of accessories, other than the alternative armor set for it, none of which includes leg armor, which is kind of a shame. It only really has the swords, which, I mean, this thing's meant as kind of like a pawn piece for chess or a grunt, so it's not going to have, it doesn't necessarily need to be heavily armed, but it still feels like it could use more. At the same time, it was a free kit. You will struggle to buy these. They're not something that's normally sold. They're handed out at events, so it's an interesting change at least. So, in terms of details, I mean, you can see how moulded the plates are, I hope. Do I have to shine another light onto it? Yes, I do. Like, we've got plenty of moulded in detail on the front and even on the sides. The arms suffer from being one piece. And looking at the mouldings on here, it's clear that it's intended to look like these can fold, which is a cool idea. Now, the gold moulding's a nice touch. And there's a whole lot of grey armour panels on there that change the look of the thing around a fair bit. I mean, we see the other loadout. Turns it into a black knight without, you know, being the cool black knights from Code Geass. On the subject of knights, though, here is how an armiger compares to it. I figure for my Games Workshop, for my Warhammer fans, that I might as well, you know, bring in a Warhammer kit. Especially since I don't currently have a built-up Gundam that I can show you guys it next to. I mean, stock kind of infantry size for Warhammer. It's big, but kind of basic. As a beginner kit, I reckon it's probably a good choice. But as an advanced kit, nah. But you're not getting it to be an advanced kit. You're getting this as a beginner. But yeah, as far as would I say to get one of these? If you are offered one at an event, by all means, go for it. It's a decent kit. It'll provide you something boring well, not boring, but something not as highly extravagant as some of the other models in the 30-minute fantasy line. Because I had a bit of a look, and there's a whole lot of more elaborate models of even just kind of the knights and this kind of family. And there's also character kits of various anime characters. Sadly, none of the ones that I want. Come on, people that own the rights to Gate, give us a Rory Mercury kit that isn't, you know, $300. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and once again, I want to offer my thanks to Animaga for sponsoring me to go to the event. And yeah, as I said, this video is sponsored by Animaga, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Anyway, catch you around. Bye. Maybe I should turn this thing into a night Amiga.